Coach, do you feel like that loss last week may have been a blessing in disguise for your team? Perhaps a little motivation for revenge in this quarterfinal game?
The positive side of me says yes right now, because it better be used in that manner. But I do think it was in the fact that it kind of humbled us a little bit in the fact of how we hadn't been handled that way. In my career, that's the worst loss of my career. And it was more about not the loss, but how they beat us that our guys were disappointed in. Like you said, the points in the paint, the points off turnovers, we just handed them a bunch of gifts. Not saying they didn't play well, but we didn't necessarily make it too tough on them.
I think it was one of those games where everything was going right for the opponent and not so much for your own team. Now, last year you come into the tournament as a 3 seed, this season as a 4 seed in a very good Mountain East Conference. Just 3 seasons ago, Concord was next to last in the conference. Talk about the hard work, the dedication of your players, your staff, the strides you've made as a team over the last 2 seasons here with Concord basketball.
You know, we got to give a lot of the credit to the players, because the thing that we really stress to these guys is we wanted to create a culture in the program, a culture of doing things the right way when you're not involved in basketball, and that would translate into the wins. And these guys have done that. So these seniors are going to leave a legacy for guys behind them of how to operate, of how to operate on a daily basis. So we're firm believers that the culture is going to ultimately win out in the long haul, and it has, and we plan on it continuing. But hopefully we're not done here for a couple more days.
Coach, taking a look at this Charleston team, not a lot of glitz and glamour with Charleston. One guy doesn't really stick out from another. They're coached well, they play hard, play as a team, they're efficient with the basketball. Slowing this Charleston team really starts with the 2 big men inside, they're led by All-Mountain East Conference second-team standout Alex Kisic, the senior from Serbia, leads the team in scoring, averages 13.5 per game, shot better than 50% from the floor in his career with UC. That includes more than 100 3-point shots made from the 6'8"er. Also, senior Javante Hughes, who was a second-teamer last season, receives all-conference honorable mention this year. A player that can elevate, play above the rim. Hughes averages 12.5 per game, 7 boards, 6 double-doubles this season. How do you try and slow down Charleston's big men? They certainly have a lot of size.
The thing about those two is they're 2 complete opposite players. You have Kesic, who's a Serbian, who's very skilled, can play all 3 levels of the court. Like you talked about, his 3-point makes over his career. Stretches the court very well, can also take you into the post. And you have Javante, who he is a highlight reel waiting to happen. Probably the best athlete in the conference. What you have to do is, first and foremost, you've got to take away their baskets at the rim. And we did not do a very good job of that the first time. They kind of got whatever they wanted, and if they didn't make it, we let them have it again to see if they'd make it the second time. So first and foremost, you've got to defend them in the paint. And other than that, with Kesic, you just got to, Dwayne does a great job putting him in positions to get him high percentage threes. We just have to make sure they're challenged threes, because he's going to get them off. He's not going to not take any tonight, but we have got to be able to get a hand up in his face, because we showed him on film. If he gets what we call a catch shot, it's going to go in. If you challenge him, his percentage comes down significantly, but that happens with everybody. So 2 completely different covers, but first and foremost, we have to take away their baskets at point-blank range.
Defensively, what are you going to see from Charleston this evening?
A very disciplined, compact man-to-man defense. They don't have many breakdowns. They are going to face guard Aaron and Rob, like most teams have done here pretty much all season. And they're going to do a really good job staying in front of the ball in the paint. They're probably going to stay behind Terry, what they've done the last 2 years. He's going to be able to get one-on-one situations. But you're going to have a team that's not going to press us. They're not going to get out and challenge lanes and up-tempo the game. They're going to their whole goal is kind of like ours. We want you to take challenge perimeter shots. But we've got to be disciplined enough to get to multiple sides of the court to break them down.